Everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. I love it when I get my paper pumpkin that arrives on my doorstep once a month. My kit arrives and I don't have to think. I can just pull out my kit and start creating. And I love the paper pumpkin. And this month's kit, called Farmhouse Florals, is absolutely stunning. Oh my gosh, how fun is it? It's, if you're into kind of farmhouse chic, this is right up your alley. It's yeah, I have to say I love this one. All right, I am going to show you the cards that you can make in the kit as well as an alternative. It's always nice. I love to make the cards just as they are. You don't have to think about it. Sometimes I will change up the sentiment a little bit because I love to make thank you cards and send out thank you cards, so always need those. But sometimes maybe you're not so struck on what the cards are, the projects are, and so you can make alternatives. And so I've created an alternative project using the supplies in the kit for you today. All right, let's get started. So the kit today, this month's kit, comes in kind of the regular orange paper pumpkin box. I love it that they always have on one end the month and the name of the kit, because I always forget what the kit is. Now, typically in the past few videos, I've actually had things kind of opened up, but I decided to leave it as it was. You get 2 stamp sets this month, so that's an amazing bonus. I'm not sure which is the, I'm gonna say, I don't know which is the bonus and which is the regular one, but you've got the one with the teapot. Let's see, the teapot, the flowers, some sentiments, and then this one is mostly sentiments with a bit of a border border stamp, and then some flowers. All right, and then the color, how amazing is this? The Secret Sea, one of my favorite new in colors. So you've got a stamp spot with it in color. And then as always, it's wrapped in tissue paper. Let's move the box out of the way. And the tissue paper, and then everything from the kit is wrapped in plastic so it doesn't go missing. If this is your very first month getting the kit, you will have gotten a block, a little paper pumpkin block. They're a little thinner than our blocks that come, that we typically use or that you buy from Stampin' Up! So this kit includes some linen thread, some dimensionals, mini dimensionals, of course some pre-printed envelopes, one for each of the cards. Don't lose the instructions. Also includes the printed layout or printed insert for both of the stamp sets. Don't lose that. Okay. That was just a piece of cardboard. So you've got, these are the card bases. Look how fun these are. So you have 3, I think it's 3 of 3 designs. So you have that printed, just some plain card bases, some labels and tags, and then this one with the typewriter. So we're gonna pull out, those are their card bases, and then we've got some die cut pieces. These are large ones, and then the ones that we'll just punch out. So if you've never made these kits before, if this is your first month getting it, it shows you the picture of the final projects, and then inside it shows you how to put your pieces together, or your cards or projects together. Hopefully you can kind of see that, so I'll try. So it's like there's kind of a convention they use. So the first thing they tell you is to what to stamp. So we're going to stamp the flowers and a sentiment on the plain one. This is card number 1. And then we're going to stamp that border stamp that I talked about, and then the thank you on the little tag. So it shows you the tag, and then it shows you, you can see that, where to put the dimensionals. So this one only includes dimensionals. Sometimes you get the little glue dots on a sheet, and so if it's dimensionals it looks like a hexagon, and if it's glue dots it shows you a little round dot, and if it's tear and tape, which they also sometimes include, you'll see a strip of adhesive. So that's kind of the convention, and you can follow through, and it tells you, you know, where to put your dimensionals. It tells you how much of the linen thread to cut and where to put it. So we'll follow along with these instructions, and we'll make the very first card, which is on a plain card base. So let's use our bone folder. So this I've actually even stamped the inside of it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp the inside. Now I'm using my full size stamp pad. I just find it easier than the Stampin' Spot. I'm going to take my plastic off, and so I want a couple of blocks here. So this one we do need, we're going to stamp this border one, and we're going to stamp the sentiment that says you are loved, but there's also a thank you. Anytime I can get another thank you stamp, I am a happy camper. All right, so I need the flowers as well. All right, so they've used these flowers as a bit of a border. I'm just going to flip over and make sure I can see comments on my Facebook, in case you're watching and I'm kind of not paying attention. Hey Roberta, there, I thought somebody'd be watching on there that I would miss. Okay, so we're going to ink this up, and we're going to stamp. Oof. My secret C is really juicy. So I want to stamp the sentiment that says you are loved. So that's the inside of the card. Let's see if that's, there we go. And then the other thing we need to stamp is one of these labels with the Lost, I think it's Lost Lagoon maybe. And we're going to stamp the thank you. If you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, at least the other day, so about the 20th of each month, if they have extra kits, they put them on sale. Either a refill kit, which means you don't get the ink spot or the stamps, but you do get everything else to make more cards. So those go on sale around the 20th of the month, and I know the other day there were refill kits for this one. All right, so we're going to take and just stamp this along the border. Now it's actually, if you look at the picture, it's got them overlapped. I'm not going to do that. I like it when they're not overlapped, so I'm just going to take and stamp the 3 rows. Oh, and I've done it differently than they did, but that's okay. We'll just add another row in there. These are your cards. You can be creative with them. You don't have to follow exactly, unless you want to. There we go. Okay, so for this card, I need one of these, and the Paper Pumpkin, the dimensionals. So these are mini dimensionals, which is interesting, I guess, because of the die cut pieces that we're going to use on some of the other cards. They're quite, some of them are quite small. All right. If you're like me, you can't find your take your pick tool. If you're like me, you have a hard time with the mini dimensionals. I don't know, my fingers are too big for them. I can't get them. So I use my take your pick tool. Right, so then this goes like that. And then the dimensionals are just on one end of this. is they're just going to go like that. Oof, just about got it in the wrong spot. Now, actually that one's okay. I was going to say I'd like to stick it down a little bit better, but it seems to be sticking down. So there we go. That's the first card. How quick and easy is that? But how gorgeous is that card? Like if you were getting Paper Pumpkin way back when, way back when, I sound really old, they weren't as good. Like when they first came out, I have to admit it wasn't as good as they are now. They're amazing now. Okay, so now we're going to use this card base with the tote on it full of flowers, and again they've stamped the inside. This is the first month that I actually remember them stamping the inside of the cards, so that's great. And I'm just gonna wipe my block because I kind of got a little heavy-handed when I was inking this up. So we're gonna stamp that. Now, good friends, looking to see what. Nope, not that one. Trying to find the, there it is. The stamp set, it says, I can't read it. Good friends are hard to find. I'm so glad we found each other. Oh, that's a lovely sentiment. All right, so that's gonna go above like that. And then that's the inside. Okay, so now for the front of the card. Now this is one of those, hey Marva, welcome. That there are quite a few. We're actually going to do some stamping across the middle, and we're going to stamp a tag, and then we're going to use a lot of the little die cut pieces. So let's do the stamping first. Well, I've kind of got my ink pad out, and it kind of is going across the middle. Now what I discovered when I was stamping this, it's kind of hard to see, but they've actually lined up these little flowers or dots so that you can actually kind of stamp on and get them going in the same direction, or so that there's no kind of gap when you stamp it the second time, which they've taken the thinking out of it for you, is you don't have to turn it or do anything. It's all lined up. And then we need a little tag. And we're going to stamp for you, which is there. So these are little tiny embellish or sentiments. It's going to go. There we go. Let's get that out of the way so I don't get ink all over the place. Now we need some of the die cut pieces. So we need a bag, and we need one each of the flowers. We need a handle. I think that's everything. Okay. So we're going to put dimensionals. I said, sometimes, like this month, I usually just make all of the cards. Like I will make up all of these cards exactly as they are, with the exception of the alternative that I'm going to show you. So this goes on right over top, so we're popping up. It's going to be a layered card. We've popped up the bag, and now we're going to pop up some of these flowers. I don't know if they're using a lot of dimensionals. You can use fewer than they are. That goes there. So you're just putting them over. Find the matching flower on the image, and that's what you're going to adhere your die cuts to. It's there. So I'm getting ready to, tomorrow I am doing some classes and drop-in at, what is that? Probably shouldn't have put this on first, but we'll just put that on there. It's Left Coast Fashion is one of the little stores in Ladysmith. It's a ladies' wear. And so tomorrow I am doing some drop-in, come and make a card, or I have a couple of classes. And so if you're interested, if you live in the Ladysmith area and you're coming for Arts on the Avenue tomorrow, which is a big event with all sorts of artisans, they close off one of the main streets. And so if you're coming for that, drop into Left Coast Fashions and say hello and make a card. All right, so for this one, for the back of the handles, it's pretty little. So they're actually cutting a dimensional in half. But with these mini dimensionals, they always give you lots of kind of borders. So you can cut little strips and little pieces off from the edge. Or you can take and cut one of the little mini dimensionals in half. Even that's kind of almost too big for it. So I'm just putting it on the sides of the handles. Oops. So that just goes over top of the handle. And then the last thing, oops, I guess I should take it would stick better if I actually took the backing off. There we go. And then it's saying to cut 12 inches. Wow, that's a lot of twine. All right, 12 inches it is. Not sure why. Because we're just tying a little bow. So since it's so big, it may be doubled over. It doesn't actually say it is, but I'm gonna just double it. And I'm gonna tie, because that seems like a really long piece of linen thread. That didn't work. So we just tie another bow. There we go. And where's my tag? The tag is here. Oh, I guess they've tied it. I probably should have done that. I didn't. So we are going to use a glue dot, which doesn't come in. I guess that's why it's long, is because they've actually tied it on. But we're just going to take it and use a glue dot, which isn't in the kit, but I have lots of them. So it's long because you're actually going to tie it through the little hole in the tag. But there's your second card. I love that one too. Okay, the third card. This is my favorite. I love typewriters. I think it's because I started typing when I was, oh gosh, grade 7, I think. So way back before there were electric typewriters. They were hard to type on. All right, so we're going to do the same on the inside of the card. I love it that they've started to give you instructions for stamping on the inside of the card. And so it says to say thank you. I am just going to actually, I guess I'm not going to. I was going to say I was just going to stamp thank you, but they've got it's a typewriter, and the front is going to say just a note, I believe. So let's do just a note to say. So I guess I do need the just a little tiny to say. Above that. And then we'll. Okay, so that's the inside of the card, and then the only other piece that's stamped on this one is the one that says just a note. right way. It's hard to see. There we go. Let's do that. So it's got a bit of a ragged edge at the top. All right, so for this one, we need the typewriter die cut, and we need the 2 flowers that are left on this on that sheet of die cuts. This is pretty easy to put together. Again, we're going to use our dimensionals. So this die cut has even got a little slit in it, just a little tiny slit. It's maybe hard to see, so that you can poke your note through. And we need dimensionals. And I expect I need a dimensional. I do. On the top of my just a note. All right. So our typewriter goes on top of the typewriter, and then the little note has got the dimensionals on the top, and you're just going to take and stick it down through the little slot as if it was popping, or it's on the roller like that. And then we're going to just put these flowers. I don't actually know if that, I'm just going to put it above, and then these ones can go just like that. How cute is that? With the little typewriter that's popped up. So those are the cards. I love this suite. I love this kit. Those are the cards that are pre-designed for you. You can just make them exactly as they are. But let's show you an alternative project that is really easy to make. So we're going to use one of the plain card bases. Again, fold into the mountain or into the raised line, and then burnish it with your bone folder. Now I'm going to take the 2-inch, you can make the 2 3/8 inch circle punch, but I'm just going to use the 2-inch circle punch. And I'm going to come in from the top and punch out a circle. So you can measure if you really want to make sure that it's kind of centered, but I'm just kind of eyeballing it side to side so I have roughly the right, the same distance, and I've pushed it all the way until it won't go anymore. And we're just going to punch a hole in the top. So now we've got a hole, and we've got this. Now don't lose this piece because we are going to use it. So I'm going to take some pretty peacock, and I've got a blending brush, and I'm just going to really lightly blend. You could use probably Lost Lagoon as well. You could even use, that's the right word, use your Secret Sea, but because the typewriter that I'm going to use is Pretty Peacock, that's the color I decided to use on my card. So that fits into the hole. So this is kind of, I like to make this stamp, this layout. It's pretty easy. So we do need a typewriter, and we need one of those flowers and one of those flowers, and we need a sentiment. We need one of these notes. So for this one, I decided not to put my little note card through the hole, because I'm actually going to stick it on the inside. So you could just have it just raised a little bit if you wanted to, but I'm going to stamp thank you, because that's, like I said, I make a lot of thank you cards. So we'll stamp this, and I'm going to stamp this one a little closer to the top than the bottom, just so that it doesn't get hidden by when I put the typewriter on. So let's But we want to do some stamping on the front of the card as well. I really like this border stamp. And so we're going to just take and stamp just a border of these little dotted flowers across the bottom like that. Okay, now we can start layering. So this is going to fit on the inside of the card. I did not pop this up. I just used a little bit of liquid glue, and then, oopsie, put this, again, close your card up and then put it through the hole, and then you can open your card. Whoops, not like that. Don't shift around like I did. There we go. Let's hold it in place because it will shift. That's a good thing about the liquid glue. Haley, the liquid glue, it does give you a little bit of wiggle room, but it also will shift around. So, okay, so we've got our little, we've got our circle in. Now we'll use some of the dimensionals to put our typewriter on. So if you have never done the paper pumpkin before, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can either subscribe to month, which means that every month Stampin' Up! Will charge your credit card for the kit. It gets charged around the 12th or so of the month. So I'm just going to put that there, just up a little bit over the edge of my circle, but the dimensionals aren't gonna stick to the inside of the circle. So it charges your credit card, and then the other way to do it is to do a prepaid subscription. You can do a 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months, which means you pay up front, and then there's no extra charges when Stampin' Up! Sends you your kits. And they do get sent out around the 11th of the month. So you always have until the 10th of each month to change your subscription to, suspend it if you're going to be away, for example, or you're not interested in the particular kit for the month, or if you want to add on extra kits because you think you're going to be in love with the kit that's coming out, because you do get sneak peeks of the kit. And also every month Stampin' Up! Releases a video of an unboxing. So a couple of ways you can get it. If you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber from me, I participate in a tutorial group where we create projects that use the stamp set and the ink spot afterwards. So we create projects that use. I'm going to do this a little bit different than I was thinking. So that you can use your ink spot and stamps after you've used up all of your supplies. I had to double dimensionalize that, so 2 dimensionals stuck together for that particular flower, so it just sticks. So the flowers are just on the top of the typewriter. And let's add some embellishments. There weren't any in the suite except for the linen thread, which, of course, I use my linen thread always. It's amazing how I use those for embellishments, but where do you suppose my linen thread has gone? Wow. Oh. Amazing how you can lose it. It's here somewhere and I can't find it, so we won't put, I was going to put a bow on my typewriter, but we will just put some of these. These are the new in color flat pearls, and I thought that the Timid Tiger would look pretty with these colors. Oh, I found my linen thread too. How about that? Right in front of me. Always is. I don't know if you guys have that problem. My desk craft space gets so messy. All right, let's find the end. There's an end. Cut a piece again, I'm going to double it. So yeah, so if you're interested in Paper Pumpkin, you can subscribe through my online store. Just search Paper Pumpkin. You won't be sorry, because these kits are so amazing. All right, so let's just take. Again, you could use a dimensional, but I like to kind of use a glue dot for ribbon or for little bows. I'm gonna put that just right there, because. All right, so let's bring in the cards. So that's my alternative card. And then that was the first card we made. I like that one. This is the second card with the raised bag, and then the third one with the typewriter. And there was my alternative. So really pretty, cute cards. It's definitely been one of the kits that I really have loved this particular kit. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Now, I won't be live tomorrow because I will be down at Left Coast Fashion. So again, if you're in the Ladysmith area and you're coming into town for Arts on the Avenue, or maybe you don't have any plans, come and make a card. We're just going to do a drop-in. Or I still have room in my classes. There's going to be a class at 10 where we make 4 cards, and then a class at 1. So if you're interested in that, come join me. I think it's going to be fun. All right, everybody, I hope you have a great weekend. I will see you Tuesday night at 6:30 for my